Well, it's going to be fun. I think what Jason's brought to the game over his time, everybody understands he's been one of the greatest players, has one of the best IQs that we've ever seen as a basketball player, and he's well respected around the league. It's going to be fun. I grew up watching Jason Kidd since I was a kid. I know he played in Oakland, and I've been a big fan of his. And I think the NBA needs more great basketball minds like his patrolling the sidelines, and it's good to get some new blood out there, like guys like him. And my other teammate in college, Jock Vaughn. It's good to see these guys get these head coaching jobs now because they have great basketball minds.
Paul?
Actually, I've been wearing Brooklyn stuff for 3 weeks now. It's not weird anymore. So.
Paul, do you think this team is championship timber? Do you think it's got what it takes?
I think all the ingredients are in the locker room. I think you have youth, we have good size, we have the veterans, we have experience, know-how. So I think all the ingredients that you need we have depth. I think all the things that you need for a championship caliber team are in the locker room. It's just about how we come together, how we sacrifice and do the necessary things we need to do to make this an elite ball club.
Hey Paul, when you were joined in Boston with by Ray and Kevin, Doc introduced a really interesting concept, that Ubuntu concept of selflessness. Do you think that could be applicable here? Because I know a couple of guys talked about how do we merge egos and all that. Do you think that could be transferred here about how you do that?
You know what? I think every championship team has its own different ingredients on how they go about it. Obviously Miami has theirs, Dallas had theirs, and it's up to us and Boston had theirs. So I think with this different group, it's up to us to come up with something that we can kind of use to bond together to help us understand our clear goal as a championship and what we're going to need to do. The way you win one championship is certainly not going to be the way you win the next one. Every team is different. All the personalities are different. And so it's just up to us to figure that out. I think, we didn't have that concept until Kevin and Ray got there. I mean, we still were the Boston Celtics, we still were a team. Probably didn't have championship aspirations at the time, but I think every championship team has their own chemistry set, and it doesn't work for another group, what might work for one group. So that's up to us to kind of figure that out as we go.
Are you excited about having the roster to challenge the Heat? Is that fun for you to think about the idea that the roster you have in the end, it's really going to be quite a rivalry now?
Well, yeah, not only to challenge the Heat, but like I was saying, our goal is just to win a championship here. It's not to go out and beat the Heat. If the Heat are in our way, obviously we're going to have to see them. But, there's other great teams, Indiana, New York, Chicago, other teams that we might have to face. But ultimately our goal is a championship. But we have the pieces in this locker room to get it done.
With Rain Guard out in trades in Boston, there's still very clear understanding on the stretch. Everyone on the ball in their hands. Now you're coming from your team. How do you feel that goes on there? Do you feel comfortable down the stretch, asking for the ball,
I think over the years I've proven I could be a guy down the stretch that can make plays, whether it be making a big shot or making a big pass. I think when you look at this ball club here, we have a number of guys that are more than capable of doing this. As you see, Joe Johnson been one of the most clutch guys in our league over the last 8-9 years. Darren Williams at the point guard is very tough to guard the way he shoots the ball, drives the ball, and also been one of the toughest guys down the stretch to guard. Then you have Brook Lopez, a budding center in this league, all-star, who's showing the ability to knock down shots and make big plays. Kevin has done it. Jason Terry has done it. So I think, game in and game out, it's going to be different. I don't think we just have that one guy who you just know. Certain teams, they have that one guy that you say, okay, this guy is going to be the guy down the stretch. I think it's going to be a number of guys in different nights. We're going to share a love with one another.
Jason Terry was talking about how you have perhaps a bigger chip on your shoulder than some of the other guys because were traded by the team you played your whole career for. How do you feel looking back at that, at being traded and how you ended up here?
You know, I understand it's a business. I have a chip on my shoulder for the fact I want to win another championship. And I think me as a player, I've always played with a chip on my shoulder. So I don't need any added motivation such as a trade or whatnot. I'm a self-motivated player that wants to be one of the best to ever play, that wants to win a championship. You know, I understand it's a business, it happened, it's over with, and we're moved on.
How helpful for you were the,
injuries and age, sorry,
That's okay.
Injuries and age. When I think about the upcoming season, there's just as many cats rebounding from injuries that have a lot to prove as cats coming to the game because they're now over 35 or whatever. So I'm asking your opinion on, well, first of all, I think they have just as much to prove. I'm going to keep it simple. What should it take when you look at these, you know, what it takes to rebound from an injury? Like Kobe, Chicago, I can't think of his name right now. The list goes on and on. So that's what I'm really looking at. You and KG, I'm not that concerned about, to be honest, when I think of age.
What was the question?
I guess the question is, you got injuries on one hand, cats returning.
Mm-hmm.
How will that affect how well they do, just like people are, in your opinion,
Okay.
from your years in the league, versus people thinking, how is your age and how is KG's age going to affect how well you do?
I think with the players who get injured, it's how you go into the rehabilitation process, that you want to come back a better player. I think it has to be a self-determination type thing, and we're going to see a lot of different players come back from injuries. Derrick Rose, Rondo. And I think with those type of players, those guys are so mentally tough that they want to come back better. Westbrook, those guys are some of the top players we're talking about who have great self-discipline to want to be better and prove everybody wrong about how they're going to play after an injury. And as far as me and KG, we, as we looked at our career, we've never been injury-prone players. But we know at this age it can happen. But, so I think in answering that, I think we just have to continue to go out and do what we've been doing. We've been lucky to stay away from the injury bug. And continue to do all the little things to keep us strong and keep us healthy. But there's no age, there's no certain type of player that says, okay, this player is going to get injured. I mean, it happens to the best. And you never know when it's going to happen, and we just have to continue to pray, be lucky, and keep going strong even at this age.
How helpful for Joe?
Well, I think that's something that him and coaches have to discuss throughout the long year. I think they have to monitor him and practice, because KG is a guy who's going to go 100 miles per hour, and he has to understand at this age, we're going to need him for the stretch run. We're going to need him late in games. We're going to need him for the playoffs to be as healthy and fresh as possible. The injuries or not the injuries, but the little nicks and bangs you get at the age of 36, 37, they last a little bit longer. Usually when you're a young guy, you get an elbow or bruise in the thigh, you shake it off ice and you come back the next day. The older you get, those injuries last a little longer. So I think it's just him understanding his body, his mind, and having a good understanding with the coaches.
Paul,